Yes, we back in Real Deal Radio, volume 227.
You already know the
Juice in the
motherfucking
building.
deal. Yeah. Alright, and let's get into exclusive interview, man. Let's do it. Number one, you were one of the Grind Time originals.
Word up, I started the Grind Time New York division.
Yeah, when it first started and when it first popped off.
Yeah, man, that was the first event, August of 2008.
Okay. What made you step back from that?
Well, it's a little bit of a long story, to be real.
Let's go.
I'm real passionate about putting together events. Like, I love organizing battle events. Even after I, stepped down from Grind Time New York as the vice president at the time.
Yeah.
When I left, I was only the vice president. I was no longer the president anymore. I still put together a Beast Coast event, which, whatever, got a mixed reaction. But essentially, the reasoning behind it was, at the time.
So you were never the president of...
Well, I was. I started off as the president, founder, everything. And then eventually, I guess if I had to pinpoint any one specific reason, it's just that other staff members that were involved, particularly in other divisions, I was giving them a little bit too much say as to what was going on in my division. And the reason at the time was I wanted to be loyal. I figured, I didn't start Grind Time overall, I just started a New York division. So I'm going to give some guys who started Grind Time period a little bit priority. In retrospect, I probably shouldn't have done that because eventually they kind of like took that as a green light to sort of control my division. And that's at that point they brought in Pumpkinhead, with their intention was to eventually replace me as president, which is essentially what happened. Now, probably I could have probably hindered that or at least halted it if I had taken a little bit more control and not given the guys down in Florida as much of a say as to what was going on. But at the time, I guess I was a little deluded with a sense of loyalty for some reason.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I still fucks with these people, you know what I mean? Like, I don't got no problem with them, but I did let them have a little bit too much say as to what was going on, and that was my own fault. So I can't blame anybody for it but myself, but you live and you learn.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's insane. Do you ever plan on making a return to Grind Time as a battle rapper, or do you?
Well, the irony, of course, is always the way it works for me. People in the last battle I had up in KOTD, I went against Justice, and he was like, if this Guido survives it, he'll be the only Italian ever blessed with the luck of the Irish. I definitely don't have the luck of the Irish, because I always find that, I got bad luck, dude. Like, when I first started Grind Time, we were grinding for views on YouTube, trying as hard as we could without any YouTube partnerships. We were just being introduced to World Star. And now Grind Time has literally YouTube subscriptions up the ass. It's a huge promotional tool. So of course, once I step down from Grind Time, it's gonna fucking elevate and become the biggest online battle movement of all time. So, it would probably be within my best interest at some point to take some sort of, high-profile battle if I can. When and where or against whom, I can't say. But eventually, I probably would like to.
I get you. What are you doing now? Since past all this, what are you doing now? What are you on the works with?
Well, I just dropped a free mixtape online. I gave that in a shout out. It's www.eqjones.com/mixtape1. And it's called Broccoli and Cheese. And it's 20 tracks or so. I can't remember off the top. I think it's about 20 tracks. It's all free. You can download it, go online. You could play it off a music player if you're not the downloading type. But if you like to fucks with the iPod or whatever, just download it. So, I'm constantly making music. I have my own studio set up. And, I still host battles. I'm still down to be involved in the battle scene. Actually, this month there's going to be a battle of 5 boroughs. The exact date is not yet determined, but it's going to be sometime in the month of October, mid-October, possibly late. We already have some battles set up for that, New York Giant against Paranormal is one that stands out.
Paranormal's
Paranormal.
That's my little.
He's supposed to be getting involved in that. A lot more, I guess, up and coming kind of cats. I'm trying to get the homeboy Roosevelt. Roosevelt. I'm trying to get him involved in it. Tommy Quiggs back from old school Grind Time. A lot of other cats. I believe, I'm not sure if Scream was going to get involved, or I know that Dutch Vega had passed me along Vinci's number. I want to get a bunch of people involved, just host, have a good time, partake. So, I constantly stay busy. Whether or not I'm in Grind Time doing something active with Grind Time or not, I'm a proficient artist. I'm constantly putting things out.
Now, is there anything sour left with Grind Time, or everything's just?
It's not sour. People mistake that. They're like, well, Juice, the fact that you haven't battled in Grind Time, it kind of looks like you're sour. It's not sour, but try to look at it from my perspective a little bit. DNA, when he was on the show, he had mentioned that, a lot of guys had gotten paid and he didn't get paid, and he felt a bad way about that. Well, how is somebody supposed to feel who not only were they not getting paid thousands of dollars like some of these guys, but they were actually coming out of pocket to put events together just to eventually get, pushed out of the way, and then really, not really get much of a chance after that. So
I see that go down now still.
Yeah, it still does go down. And me, of course, I'm going to be at least...
Penn, I see Penn come out of his pocket.
Penn is Penn is doing his thing. I mean, honestly, despite all the hate, I thought Pumpkinhead, did what he could with it. Penn is doing what he could with it. It's hard work to put together events. It's not just easy, like, you come out and everybody, people are from all over the tri-state. Some people come from all over the world to be a part of these events, and you have to really, make ends meet and put things together the right way to make it happen,
Yeah.
But as far as me being bitter, no, it's not about bitter, but by the same token, if you're gonna depart with me on the kind of terms that we did, and obviously we squashed it since then, I at least expect to be compensated for all that hard work I did years back. Now, I'm not asking for $5,000, $6,000, nothing like that, but, if I'm going to go down and do, a Florida event or a Cali event, at least, what I'm saying, put me in a hotel, pay for my plane ticket, maybe throw me like $1, $2 or whatever, just so I can spend some money when I'm out there, and we'll get it popping. But if everyone's going to, look at it and try and be bitter on the other hand, because I'm not doing it for free, and be like, yo, Juice, you're not worth $200, you're not worth it. Well, I mean, no offense, but fuck you, you know what I mean? Like, I know that I paid my dues, I know that I worked real hard for Grind Time with no incentive, period, you know what I'm saying? Aside from promotion and giving other people promotion. So, if I'm gonna scratch your back Grind Time like I did in the start, scratch mine too.
How long were you working for Grind Time? How long was it?
Well, I met D-Rect, who was eventually started the whole thing at Lounge Battles 8, and that was in Orlando, Florida, in I believe March 6th, 7th, and 8th of 2008.
All right.
And eventually, I attended a wedding, a friend's wedding in Orlando, Florida, that upcoming summer. I believe it was in July. And I called Direct and I was like, hey man, I see you got this new Grind Time thing popping off. At the time they had a Mosh Shelton versus Johnny Storm battle, which was 50,000 views on YouTube. And at that time, that was pretty considerable for just an underground battle rap movement. And I was like, yo, you know what, man? You remember me from the World Rap Championships. I mean business, Direct. Give me one of your top guys, and we'll just see what goes from there. So they were like, okay, how about Johnny Storm? So I peeped his battle, whatever. I was like, yo, he's real nice. Let's get this going. A couple days later, like 3 or 4 days later, I went down to Florida. I battled Johnny Storm. I guess the staff down there felt that I had a good performance, and they approached me like, yo, Juice, we wanted to get a New York division started. We didn't know if we should give it to the OK&L, which was like a little small organization actually based out of New Jersey, but they did events in the Bronx. And they were like, we didn't know if we should kind of give the keys to them to do it, or if you'd like to be involved. I was like, absolutely. I'm very passionate about battle culture, so for sure, I'll do my best to try and make a division pop off. And for all the failures that I had, I felt like there were some successes. There was a lot of names that got great exposure, like Hollow the Don or Cortez.
Definitely, that's crazy.